Welcome to the next episode of our Culture Q&A series. We're coming to you today from Drunshanbo and Sydney, Australia. Here behind us you're going to see lots of different creative bales of hay. It's part of the festival they do here in Drunshanbo once a year. Today we're going to be interviewing Donal and Dasha. Donal is a good friend of mine. He is from Ireland and I was in Erasmus in Passau, Germany with a year travelled all over the world with him. And he's married to Dasha, who is from the Ukraine. We're going to find out all about Irish, Australian and Ukrainian culture today. So Donal and Dasha, tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Hi, I'm Donal and this is my wife Dasha. We met while working together in Sydney. I'm Irish originally. I've been living here in Sydney for the last 8-9 years. I've been to something like 61, 62 countries last count.
Hey, and I'm Dasha and I'm wife of my Irishman, but I'm originally from Ukraine. I grew up and finished uni there. Later I lived in Germany for almost 3 years and last 5 years here in Australia, in Sydney, where two of us met here.
So Donal, tell us about life in Australia and Sydney in particular. What do you love the most?
Here we are now. We're still in Australia, we're not in China, and that's kind of what I really love about Sydney in particular. This is like an hour drive south of Sydney. There's a big mix of cultures in Sydney especially, lots of Asian culture and influence. You can see it really in the food. You know, you go to a Vietnamese restaurant, you go to a Chinese restaurant, it's food, Vietnamese food for Vietnamese and done by Vietnamese, which makes it really special, really tasty. That's just kind of one thing that I love from Sydney.
And Donal, what do you see as the biggest similarities or differences between Aussies and Irish people?
Well, being in the outdoors is, you know, that's why a lot of Irish people come to Australia for the weather, and you know, we love being outside and being down at the beach. You know, we live right opposite the beach at Bondi. There's a lot of similarities culturally between Irish and Australians, you know, rooted in the first colonies made up of English and Irish, you know, back to the convicts, you know, a couple of hundred years ago. But what I do see in kind of modern culture, Australian culture, is there's a very close link between Australia and the US now, in terms of even the way people dress.
And Dasha, tell us the biggest difference between Ukrainians and Aussies.
I'm already for 5 years living in Australia, and I think what's probably the first day showed me the difference is their question of how are you? Which, yeah, they don't even expect you to have any answer. It will be just thrown there and the person is walking away. But if in Ukraine someone is asking you, how are you doing, they really mean it. They really want to hear how you're feeling, how is your family. And someone is inviting you to their house at home, it's nice to bring a little present, a little gift. You know, if there are women there, you can bring some flowers. If there are children, you can bring some chocolates. For men, maybe some alcohol, but just something nice to appreciate the invitation. And it shows that you respect them, you like them, and you'll be invited again, probably.
And another thing definitely not to do is flowers. You must only get odd numbers of flowers for women, because you only get even number of flowers. So a dozen roses is not a good idea. That's only for funerals and for remembering the dead. So do not get a dozen roses.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
And what about the biggest culture shock you ever experienced? Have you got any funny stories to share?
I had serious culture shock when I was traveling into Zimbabwe from Zambia. I remember crossing the border and it was weird. There was soldiers with guns, because at the time there was refugees trying to get out of Zimbabwe. Wow. And then there was massive baboons at the border, like running around the border. It was hectic. And I remember walking just with my backpack on, going, what is going on here?
Thank you so much, Donal and Dasha. Loved your answers. This is why we're doing this Culture Q&A series, to find out more about these different cultures of the world. Hope all is well in Australia and looking forward to catching up with you guys soon.